Hello, hello, and welcome to Modernly Mabel's channel, where I'm going to review the tutorial for the Thneed sweater scarf. It is an awesome, super easy, beginner-friendly pattern. It's only worked in one piece, so you don't have to get a bunch of pieces and sew them all together. It's just the one piece. You'll start with the sleeve, go onto the main body, and then make another sleeve. And the only sewing we're doing is just to seam up the sleeve right here, and then a little bit into the main body pattern. That's super easy, super user-friendly. I'm gonna be filming this in two parts. So the first part will cover this, and then you guys can handle the body. And because it's just a one stitch repeat over and over. And so it's really great to like put on the Netflix in the background and just kind of vibe and enjoy it that way. And the second part will be coming back from the body and then going into the sleeve and finishing. Okay, so let's get started with the yarn. So what I like to use is this Wool Power Happy Sheep. It is 100% virgin wool. It's going to be a worsted weight or 4, which is very important to hit gauge for this one. It is a little bit flowier, but it's really nice and soft, and I really enjoy it. I'd also recommend the Wool Ease, their Roving Origins. It's again 100% wool. It is going to be really nice and light. You can find this at like the big box stores, so it's super easy and available for people to get. But again, just make sure it's a size 4. You will also need a tape measure, scissors, and then 2 different crochet hooks. So the first one you'll need is going to be a 6mm or a J, and the second one will be a 8mm or an L. So we'll use the smaller hook for the sleeves right here, and then we'll use the larger hook for the main body. I'm gonna grab our yarn. We're going to have it up like this. All right, and we're gonna start with what I like to do is have a really long tail for this particular project, because I can use that to sew in the sleeves, and that way you don't have to cut and then retie and then seam all the ends in. It's just a pain in the butt. So I like to do it this way. So I'm gonna take this yarn, I'm gonna get about like maybe 6 feet worth of yarn and just have it off to the side. So to do that, I'm just gonna tie it in like a loose knot, just so it doesn't get all jumbled up. So we have that on the side, and then we'll start working with our yarn here, and we'll come back to this later. Okay, go ahead and take your smaller crochet hook. This will be the 6mm. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a chain foundation of 40. So let me actually slow down and do that again. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our chain foundation of 41. So to do that, we're gonna go ahead and make pretty much a knot. So try to make a knot, but before pulling it through, go ahead and slide your thumb and then close it that way, and slide it over your hook, and you're good to go. Do that again. So go ahead like you're making a knot, going to pull it through, and then slide it onto your hook and tighten it. Tight. All right, cool. Watch as many times as you need to, no worries. And then we're gonna go ahead and do our chain. So this is just gonna be our foundation here. So we're gonna chain. So we're gonna, what I like to do is kind of hold the base here. So this is where it's gonna be coming, you know, it's gonna be adding to. So it's gonna go up like this. So what I like to do is hold it right here, yarn over, pull through. And you have one chain. So you can tell that there's like a V on this side, and then there's a little hump you can see here. And I'll go into that a little bit later. All right, and so that's 1, so we need 41. So we'll yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I wasn't counting that, so let's go again. So I'll start with, I'll count a little bump. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we have 41. And the reason we're doing this number is so that when you hold it up to your wrist, you want it to start right there. It's gonna go slightly above your elbow because that's where it's gonna be tightened, so it won't go anywhere. All right, so after we have our 41, we're gonna start our single chain back loop only. So what that means is you're going to go ahead and twist it so that it's like this on the left side. We're gonna skip this first one and we're gonna go right into the second one. So normally when you do a single crochet, you're gonna go through it between that bump and that V and go through that way. And you have 2 over and 1 under. You guys can see. But instead of doing that, we want kind of like a rigid look. So we're gonna do the back loop only, which will make it stick out. We'll get into that in a little bit. So go ahead and go into the V and only that back bar. So you have the left side and that little bump right underneath. And we're gonna yarn over, I'm gonna pull through that, yarn over and pull through both. Okay, so one more. Into that 1V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the second one. Right here into that V. And once you guys have got that, also don't forget to work on your tension. So like right here, it's a little bit loosey-goosey. So you can just pull it, not super tight, but tight enough so that the stitches aren't too big. And you're just gonna continue going all the way down. Going through the first row. Okay, so we just finished our first row. So we're gonna go ahead and actually count all of these just to make sure, because if we ended up losing place way back here, we're gonna be super angry later and frogging things. We don't wanna do that. So just go ahead and count the V's. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 39, 40. And then this right here is going to be the one we started with, the chain one here. All right, so we have a good amount. The last thing we're going to do is go ahead and chain one more. This is going to help us get the height of our rows. So you're going to go ahead and wrap over and pull through. And it's good to remember that this is not a stitch. We're not playing with this one. It's just helping us build up. All right, so now we're going to turn our work back again. We're going to skip this one and we're going to go right in here into that V right here and keep doing the same thing along. So go ahead and keep on keeping on. You can see we're getting this ridge right now. So this is our first, this is our second row, and it's going to kind of do peaks and valleys until we're all finished. So continue these rows and I'll meet you back there. Alrighty, so I have finished the sleeve here. I completed 36 rows. So if you're not sure exactly what size to choose or how big to make it to fit yourself, what I would highly recommend is stretching this out a little bit and then measuring it with your measuring tape. So I'll put this at one end, just kind of squeeze it out a little bit, because this will be the part on the garment that will be kind of a little bit stretched on your upper arm, like right where a t-shirt would be. And this is where it's going to be kind of hugging you so it doesn't slide down your arm. So you want it a little bit tight, but not super tight. So I'm just stretching out my yarn a little bit because it will open it up. So I have about 11 inches and that puts me at the 10 to 12, which is 36 stitches. So if you have to go a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, that's you can figure it out. Just make sure that you stay on an even row. You can tell that it's even because this will be on the side away from when you finish, like it'll be diagonal, I guess. And then also you can count the peaks and valleys just to make sure that you're on the right track. So the peaks you count as 2, and then you're going to end in a little valley start, and the same on this side. And this side's a little bit more funky, but that's okay. We're going to hide it anyways. Okay, and then to move on to the next step, we are going to go ahead and put a single crochet chain along here, and that's going to help us kind of be able to pick and choose where the stitches go when we start our V-stitch. So just after you finish, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to put a single crochet right in here. Okay, so you have your chain here, and that'll be your first one. And then the second one we have to do on this side of the peak. You have to kind of find it a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit of a little treasure hunt, I suppose. So here is the large stitch where we just were. This will be the next large stitch right here where my thumb is. You have to kind of get in between. So there are two strands on the side, and then this small V right here. So right here in this circle. Okay, I'll do it a couple more times for you guys. I'm gonna put one right here in the big gap here. And then for the next one, we're gonna have to kind of search for it. So I see the big gap here, and then this one is what we want, right here. And we have the big gap. You're kind of getting, you see where these are V's? On the other side is also V's. You're kind of getting right in between those two. So you can kind of see where it is on this side. It's going around that, and then also around these. And pull through and yarn over, and just go till the end. All right, so we just finished our sleeve, and then we went ahead and we crocheted that single crochet up there, so we are all set to go. What we're gonna do now is actually change our hook to the larger one. So take out that 6, pick up that 8. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 from here. Now this will count as a stitch. We'll get into that later. Don't worry about it now. Turn our work, and then you'll notice you can see all of these stitches right here. So you're going to want to skip the first one, skip the second one, skip the third one, but on the fourth one you're going to put a double crochet into it. So what that means is, like on all of these down here, when you were only doing it in the back loop, we're going to go through the whole stitch. So there's going to be 2 bars on top and 1 on the bottom. So, but this one it's also gonna be different because we're yarning over first. So we're gonna yarn over and then stick it inside with 2 bars above it. You can see here, we have 2 bars on and 1 bar on the bottom right there. We're gonna yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those first 2, tighten up a little bit, and yarn over, pull through those 2. All right, so that's 1 double crochet. We're going to do another one right into that same area. So yarn over into that hoop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. So now we have those 2 chains right over here, and then the 2 double crochets there. Now we're going to skip this next stitch right here and go into the next one, do the same thing. So we're gonna do 2 double crochets. So yarn over into the middle underneath those 2 bars, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the other 2. And do it one more time. So double crochet, so yarn over into that same hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2 more. Okay, so now you can kind of see what we're working on here. So we've got this, and then we've got our 2 little clusters. So let's keep on moving. So skip, and then right in here. More cluster. Skip, go in here. All right, so we've got to the end here and we only have 2 stitches left. So I've done V's in every other stitch all the way across. And I have 1 here, which would be my space, and this one is going to be the last area. We're just going to do 1 double crochet in that last stitch. Not 2 like we have in all the other ones, just 1 to end that up. Okay. We're going to go ahead and chain 2, turn our work. Remember I told you that this counted as a double crochet? Well, so does this. So we're going to have 1 double crochet on the outside, which will be kind of our border. All right. And then it'll be the same on this end too. So we're going to put 1 double crochet in this last one. It's going to be the one that kind of takes us up taller. All right, so I've done my 2 chains. The next one I'm going to do is actually going to be a V-stitch inside of this V. So instead of hitting any of these on the top of the stitch, I'm actually going to go in between them right here. So you're going to yarn over and in between those 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through, and then 1 more right in that space. Yarn over. Okay. Picking up what I'm putting down here. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next one. So we have that V right here. We're gonna go right in between. So not into the top, so right over here. So where you would normally go, but with this stitch, we're not. We go right in the middle. Pull through 2, and over pull through 2, and 1 more right in that middle. All right, and this is pretty much the repeat that we're going to be doing until we hit the very end. So take a look at the pattern, see what the length would be best for you, and keep crocheting on. I'm going to go ahead and finish this one with you guys. If you have any questions while you're going through this and the pattern, any clarifications, please feel free to send me an email. Just want to show you how to finish off these rows. And then I will let you be on your way to go crochet the house down. Okay. So we've got 2 more V's. We've got 1 here. We've got 1 more here. Okay. So notice now we don't have that last stitch to go into because this is technically a space. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into the top of that chain 2, the one I said counted as a double crochet. So we're going to have to kind of pull it up because it gets a little tight sometimes. So we have the first one here, you can see a little bump, and the second one, the bump's right here. So what I like to do is yarn over, then I'm going to use my hook to kind of pull that little loop right on there. And I have it, but it's a little awkward because I want the 2 bars on top. So I have the 2 bars and the one underneath. Let's do that again. So it's all tight and funky looking. So you yarn over. Not this, because this is part of this stitch, but right before it right here. Stick a little hook right there and kind of just try to slide it on. And then you can stick it through and get those 2 bars on top. And then you can just finish off your double crochet. There you go. All right, and then you're just gonna chain 2, turn, and go back into your work. So again, so you're gonna 2 double crochets here in V's all the way across. And it's gonna look a little funky, it's gonna be a little bit bigger. That's because you're going ahead and making it, you know, wider. So it's gonna be the whole width of your sweater scarf. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and happy crocheting.